Armenia and Azerbaijan have been accusing each other of violating a new ceasefire intended to halt the fighting over the disputed Nagorno-Karabakh region. The U.S. brokered truce was due to take effect a few hours ago. This was the third attempt to end the fighting, which broke out in the mountainous enclave some 4 weeks ago. Our correspondent Julia Hahn has this report from the town of Barda in Azerbaijan, some 20 kilometers from the front line.
Ilgar Farzaliev shows us where he used to live until very recently. A rocket hit his house in early October, he says. His home for 35 years, burned down to the walls. The whole family was sitting here watching TV, and suddenly there was an explosion in the backyard. Everything started burning. We ran outside and called the firefighters, but when they arrived, it was already too late. Burned memories. Ilgar Farzaliev is convinced that Armenia is responsible for the attack. The neighboring country deliberately bombed many civilian targets in the area, he says. We can't independently verify this. We're not allowed to move freely near the front line. We are only allowed to film what the Azerbaijani authorities let us film. This school in Barda, for example, even if it looks like it, the children here are not students. They are refugees. This has been an emergency shelter since the fighting started a month ago. Right at the entrance, a memorial for a fallen Azerbaijani soldier. Everyone here is convinced that their army is fighting for a just cause. The school's vice principal doesn't believe that there have also been attacks on Armenian civilians. I don't know much about what's happening on the Armenian side. I only know what I see on TV here. But I can say that the Armenians are losing and must retreat. They don't have any other options. We are not trying to take Armenian territory. We are fighting for what belongs to us. Zabil Aliyev has been at the school for a few weeks now, with his wife and 3 granddaughters. They are from Tartar, right on the border with Nagorno-Karabakh. Lately, the clashes there have intensified. I am worried about the girls. They're just kids. They were so scared of the fighting. How are they supposed to know what explosions are? They should go to school and study. But they shouldn't have to learn what bombs and missiles sound like. At the moment, the children seem safe here. Barda is about 20 kilometers from the front line. But nobody knows when they'll be able to return home, or whether it will soon become too dangerous here too.
Let's get the perspective now from the Armenian capital, Yerevan, and DW's Aaron Tilton. Good day to you, Aaron. What's the latest on this third attempt at a ceasefire?
All right, just a couple of minutes ago, I was actually able to speak to Julia, who filed that last report, and she was able to confirm to me that there is the sound of artillery fire, which can be heard from the Azerbaijani side of the conflict. Now, at this hour, DW can unfortunately not confirm which side is actually responsible for those artillery salvos, but we can confirm that fighting is continuing in the region. Now, in terms of the political aspects of this, the Azerbaijani side is accusing of Armenia of violating the ceasefire, saying that Armenian forces are actually responsible for this shelling. However, this is something that Armenia has repeatedly denied this morning. We've seen several reports coming out of both the Ministry of Defense and the government, which say that they continue to support the ceasefire and actually accusing Azerbaijan of running what amounts to a disinformation campaign, saying that they're attempting to add confusion to an already confusing conflict where both sides can't even really agree to the basic facts on the ground.
The U.S. is behind this latest, the third now ceasefire effort. What's behind Washington's push in the region?
Well, Washington appears to be joining what is a broader push by the international community to support peace in the region. Now, this is the third attempt at brokering a ceasefire after two others, which were actually brokered by Russia, failed in recent weeks. And I was speaking to some Armenians about this yesterday, and it doesn't really seem that surprising. They said that the United States is a great and a powerful nation and a very influential one, but it's also a nation that's located very, very far away from this conflict, and it's attempting to influence what amounts to a regional conflict with deep historical roots that stretch back decades, if not centuries. So it's not entirely surprising that this latest ceasefire effort also appears to be on shaky legs.
Aaron, as you mentioned, this is a conflict with roots deep in history. What are people where you are saying about today's fighting?
Well, here in the capital, there appears to be broad support for the efforts of the troops in Karabakh. Most of the Armenians I've spoken to view this as a purely defensive action on their part, saying they're trying to protect their people from what they see as a potential ethnic cleansing, which could go on in the region if they fail to support the Armenians living in Karabakh. And they really kind of put it in the context of some of the broader historical conflicts we've seen. Like one thing that's mentioned over and over again by the people I've spoken to is the Armenian genocide, which took place during World War I. And many people here seem to be afraid if they give a little bit of ground that they could see similar violence cropping up in the region.
Aaron, thanks so much for bringing us up to date on that ceasefire between Armenia and Azerbaijan in Nagorno-Karabakh. Thanks so very much.
Thank you.